Good evening, guys. Full panel of 5-1. Hopefully, he will be turning up pretty soon. But look, it's the takeaway. You know how we do on the takeaway. It's score prediction day, Premier League talk day, and a full panel day. So, guys, my best day of the week. Look, before we go any further, look, let me just hit the button so we can get the show on the road. Good evening, Stephanie and Matty Matt. How we doing, sir? I hope that kebab is going down well. Jeff, how are we, man? Friday, how we doing?
Doing good. I'm glad it's Friday, too. It's my best day of the week as well.
That's what I like. That's what I like. Stoney, how are we, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Mr. B. I'd just like to open the show by saying thank you very much for inviting me onto the Man United agenda for Friday. Looking forward to this edition and hearing what the fellow panel have to say about Manchester United and Chelsea and everything Premiership.
DN, how are we, man?
Good, tired, but looking forward to doing the takeaway as always.
Good. Billy, you've been away for a little while, man. We thought you was coming on last week, but look, yeah, I'm surprised. Look, surprise, you won a game, and look, Billy's back on. How are we?
No, look, you know what it is. We've got our lives, haven't we? At the end of the, we've got our lives to live. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to commit last week, but I'm here today, and yeah,
with a smile on your face, yeah.
Of course.
So we don't go backwards. We only go forward. So whatever happened in the week, you keep that vibe going. But we have no interest in any games that happened last week. Yeah, this is how we do the show. So yeah, look, we can only look forward to it. Bath time.
So bath time.
That's a rhyming joke between me and bath time. I like this guy. Oh, he's on another channel, is he? That whore. Look, it doesn't matter. It's no headache, to be fair. Right, look. How we started, how we started already. We've got a fantasy league going at the moment. Obviously, you can't see me on there or DN Vlogs. I've just realized that we're joint 66th and 67th. There has been a change in the leaderboard. Ty the Tactician had been leading for a little while, and he didn't have a great week last week. So it's now Gunners FC. If you know any of these people, guys, just let me know. Netflix and Chill, second. We've got I Don't Care 6.0. And then obviously Tyrone the Tactician. Bovril's Bits, that's Ollie. That's he's from our sister channel. Krish Kingdom. I recognize that person. That is my 11-year-old, my 10-year-old son, who is currently in 6. Yes, I don't give him any advice. Matthew Leonard, Kung Fu Panda. Glazers
Does he
out
need to
FC.
give you advice?
Listen, I can't have that conversation with him. His head's already this big, and I tried to teach him to be humble, but he's giving it to me at the moment. So it's something that I have to accept. Hopefully, I'll delete his account come next week, so I don't have to worry about that. Kevin Rebel is in 8th, representing the agenda. At least we've got somebody up there. Well done, Mr. Griezmann. I can't see your name. I cut it short. Sorry. 10 and 10. We've got United Loader FC and Wissa Panda, something or other. Don P, thought you was coming on. I know you're a little under the weather. Hopefully you are watching. You have made the top 20. Clop along. Stranger Mings, not winning. Blink One Etienne, Newton Heath, and Rolls Reese. That makes up the 20 there. Look, guys, I'm hoping that we can get some sort of representation on that screen. But look, it must be fluke. As I said, my 10-year-old son is in 6th place. So yeah, it is what it is. Vincent, I will do that. I can't do that right now. I'm afraid I'm not that technical, so I'll have to wait until after the show. But look, guys, obviously there's been a lot of blah-de-blahing from a certain section of the country about a decision that didn't go their way. So I'm glad we've got Stoney on. I did want Don P on, but as I said, he's not feeling too well. So Stoney, the floor is yours. Obviously, Clippity Clop always has an excuse, whether it's the wind, whether it's the breeze, whether it's the beans that he ate in the morning for results not going his way. Now, I understand that he was pissed, and I get why he was pissed. But calling for a replay, explain your boss and explain your thinking. Oh, look, Don P is here. Look, he did jump on. I called his name, and just like magic, he's on. So yeah, Stoney, the floor is yours.
I think it's one of those things at the moment. I think before we came on the show, I just myself and Jeff, we were just having a brief conversation about this as well. And I think as it currently stands, I don't think there's any mechanism in place for the Premiership where there will actually be a replay for the game against Spurs. I think there's a bigger picture here. I think the statement coming from Liverpool and everything that's been mentioned for Klopp is not just about the Spurs versus Liverpool game. I think it's about the way that the league, the match officials and VAR are actually managed moving forward. I also think it's about accountability for any of the match officials as well, and when there will be some form of review. All right, we've already seen earlier in this season another incident to do with VAR when Manchester United played against Wolves. That could be the difference in a team gaining or losing 3 points. So I think the bigger picture here, and as Klopp was saying, it's not just about Liverpool or Spurs. It's about the bigger picture of how VAR is currently being used and how the match officials are officiating games and how are they accountable. All right. So guess what? If after the game, during Jurgen Klopp's post game, he said something unsavory, he would be fined and there would be some form of punishment issue towards him. All right. The same thing would have happened if our captain spoke anything untowards. They would have been sanctioned in some way. What then happens to those match officials? Them being demoted means nothing. All right. That means absolutely nothing. There needs to be some form of review. What that looks like, I have absolutely no idea. I also think the review should take place now or in the next few weeks or months and not at the end of the season. And the reason why I say that, there could easily be a game that Manchester United are involved or Chelsea are involved. And I'm only saying that because you guys are on the panel, where another VAR decision has an impact on the game and the outcome of the performance there.
Silence.
I'll go first.
Yeah, talk.
Absolutely. And I'm an official, right? So most people know I'm a referee. I have three things to say about it. Number one, Stoney, they are not just demoted. They are fined. They can be removed down 1 or 2 levels, which can cost them a lot of money. And X amount of errors does disqualify them from the next season, which a lot of people don't know, right? There is a match review, and the match review is sent to the PGMOL. Match review is sent to the FA after every match. There is a review that every match official is assessed, not just by a referee assessor, but by former managers. And there's some other, we've talked about this before. And I talked about it on Rich Sports too. There's some other people that are involved in that assessment as well. So there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I would like to see more of it be brought forward so that people can see that process, because it is a process. I'm very number two, I'm very disturbed about VAR. VAR in Germany, Spain, and Italy, and some of the other countries is run to a T, and they use the Euro and World Cup format, which if they cannot make a full determination by the VAR on an offsides, they go to the field, and whatever the field says stays. Now, the other part of that is any other call on the pitch that requires a VAR review They don't sit there with their finger on the ear for a long period of time. If they can't get a quick word and determine it, they send him to the monitor. He runs over, he takes a look at it, comes back, makes the call. Okay. It doesn't take all the time that it takes in England to get these. And it's because they're depending on the VAR to make the determination instead of having the on-field referee run over to the monitor and take a look. And I'll give you an example. There was a Bayer Leverkusen game. The forward was given a yellow card for diving. He got a quick call from the VAR. He runs over, he takes a look at it, comes back, waves the yellow off, puts it back in his pocket. Not even 10 minutes later, same thing, same player diving again. Thought he had him, gave him the card, runs over to the screen, boom, pulls, comes back. They hugged the referee and said, thank you. Both teams, the captains came over and said, thank you for getting it right and taking that quick moment to do your job, right? So there's a lot more respect I see in the German league and in the Spanish league and in the Italian league for referees. Yeah, they give them the business just like everywhere else, but they take the time to go over and get the call right. And they're just like in the World Cup and Euros, if a quick determination cannot be made by the VAR, they go with the on-field call and keep moving. I don't understand why the Premier League can't get this right.
No.
So it's two completely different systems, two different systems that are being used.
The Premier League has their own way of running VAR versus everybody else. They've not got on the pro. They were supposed to get. And again, it's always the Premier League. They always want to do something a little bit different. Even the way that they pay their referees is different than France, Germany, Spain, and Italy. So I don't understand why they can't get on the program. If they would just use the program just like it was set up for the World Cup when it was first introduced, the Euros when it was first introduced, all those tournaments went so smoothly, starting in Brazil, using VAR. And were there little hiccups here and there? Yeah, but they were so rare. And then as you go, if you go, and I watch all the other leagues, right? Because we talk about it all the time. I watch a lot of matches, and I never see this. I never see this controversy that we have in the Premier League.
Hopeless. DN, Billy, any forms of opinion before we drift on to something else?
I would say the only thing that made it worse was when they ended up leaking, like showing the audio that was saying that they should have stopped the game, and that made it worse. For example, if that didn't come out, it wouldn't have been as bad as it is now.
I'm glad it came out. I'm glad it was nothing that could be hidden.
True. But I think like that made it worse in the sense of how, as Jeff said, the PL wants to be different than every other league in the world anyways. So they want to be like, they have the best referees in the world. So why isn't there an issue being faced by them? Either fire them or either put them on a ban as such, because they made such a big mistake. Even though I hate Liverpool, but still, you never know. Maybe that game could have made them win the title, lose the title. Depends. You never know what kind of consequences it has at the end of the season, specifically with top four, and even with now, there's a chance that the top five get into UCL this season as well because of the new format and stuff. So that's how I find it's really hard, even with the United game, in the way that Wolves should have had a penalty. Even though I am a United fan, but I still feel that Onana made a mistake when he tried to hug the player, and that should have been a pen for Wolves. But I don't think so. That was using properly in the Premier League. They should have a look at it again and see if replay, of course, isn't possible. But I think maybe for next big games such as United, Liverpool, and stuff, they should have an eye on VAR. And if such a mistake is made again, just stop the game immediately so that you can have a proper look and see if that was a goal or not. So yeah.
Really?
I'm bored. I mean this with like is talked about every season since it's come out about how VAR's this or VAR's now ruining it, or VAR's, at the end of the day, it's a tool that assists the referee, and it looks like the only thing it's doing for referees is making their job harder, because every time a referee goes over to the thing, they always change their decision. Doesn't mean that their initial decision was always right, but there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more hesitation with referees now around whether they should make the call, whether it's the right call, and I just think VAR needs to be completely redone into a way where it works, because clearly it isn't. Clearly there's major issues, and that happens for and against teams. I do want to say though that I'm getting annoyed about hearing as much as it is with Liverpool and Tottenham, because if it wasn't these two clubs and it was Burnley beat Luton, no one would know it had happened. And partly that's that, knowing that would be the situation sort of annoys me. I think at the end of the day, we need to just bite the bullet and accept the fact that the officials can't officiate a game, and we've just got to try and just stick through it.
Stoney, can I say one more thing before you jump back in?
Yeah.
If we can get goal line technology right, there's no way we can't get offsides correct. And again, I'm a huge proponent of the Arsene Wenger. He wants to change the offsides to either you're fully behind the line, or you're fully over the line, or you're not offsides. It would change the game for the better, and it would alleviate all of these issues. So that's my 2 cents on that. So if they can't get it to the goal line technology standard, I think they should scrap VAR for offsides and just go with the on-field call.
Another thing I would add from what Jeff just said is, even in the UCL, you would see is how different the rules and regulations are. If a player would have a handball, for example, that would be a pen in the Premier League, but that wouldn't be a pen in the UCL. So the same with VAR. I don't get it why it's not consistently used as the same in every league in the world.
UCL has a higher standard for the referees, and they're all FIFA match officials. Again, DN, it's not right, but that's what they put out in their literature.
I don't get it why it's not the same rule for everyone, rather than just using something else for a different league and something else for another league. That doesn't make sense.
I agree with you completely. I do Sunday league, and I've been a referee for 30 plus years. I call the match the same way, whether I'm doing 12-year-old kids or D1 men that are all, a bunch of ex-professional players.
I'm glad there's controversy, and I'm glad it's happening to Liverpool. And that's my thought. That's my thoughts on it.
Tony, how do you put up with that?
I welcome it and I embrace it. And as I mentioned when I was asked to, it's not just about Spurs and Liverpool. We are aware that there are going to be other VAR decisions. And as I said, it may have an impact on a game that Manchester United are involved in. It may have an impact that Chelsea are involved in. And we'll just see what the outcome's going to be.
We've already had a game that has been affected like this. The Spurs Garnacho goal should have been onside. So,
no.
Well, and again, if we come down to the end of the year and City wins the league by 3 points, that's going to be very, very controversial.
Yeah.
Or even worse, Jeff, if Manchester United get relegated and the 3 points could have kept them up, that could be even worse.
Do you know what?
Now he's baiting you, Mr. Bean.
I'm trying to look for this delete button on here, but I can't find it at the moment.
What if those points are the only points that Chelsea could get that specific month being free? So it doesn't change it, does it?
No comment from Billy. Guys, Saka, he could be out tomorrow, Sunday. Obviously, he's been a key player for Arsenal. He's played in virtually all of their games. The one thing with Arteta, he's always said is players should be able to play 3 games a week, so he doesn't see why they need to be rested, which I don't really have a problem with him. But Saka was already a doubt before the game. They masked the game in Europe and he's played him. And now he said he could be missing for this game. How big a miss do you think Saka's going to be for Arsenal this week? But also, Rodri isn't playing for Man City. So do you think it levels itself out? I'll start with you, Billy.
Saka is a huge miss for Arsenal. He will be one of their most influential players. and their star boy. Do you know what I mean? They all go on about him. So, but I think Arteta needs to realise that you can't just play that player every game. Do you know what I mean? Players do need rest, and I think especially when we had the World Cup during Christmas time and stuff like that, that was a very important time for certain players to be rested and certain players to move on and stuff. So I think in that aspect of it, I think Arteta is not fully understanding it, but I mean it makes sense. He's never managed a football club in his life apart from Arsenal, so. But then moving on to what you said, Rodri's missing for City.
Yeah, he's missing. Yes, yeah. He got suspended, didn't it?
I think the problem, not the problem, but I think the issue for everyone else with City is they've got squad depth in every position to the point where they have 2 full starting 11s that can easily get into the top 4 of the Premier League. So I think missing out, Rodri is a good player, but if we look at midfielders like last season, Gundogan, or Gundogan, however you want to pronounce it, he was one of their most influential players last season. They've sold him and they look no different. So, yeah, I think Man City, there's not going to be much worry, but definitely Saka is Saka's one that Arteta is going to be concerned about. But he needs to learn from it.
Dean?
Like Billy says, I agree. Arteta has to learn from these kind of mistakes. In the sense, of course, when you're playing 4 competitions, and specifically the UCL as well, you need to control your players' playtime. The same problem United are having at the moment with so many injuries and stuff. So I think, but yeah, he will be a very big miss for Arsenal, specifically because they've been short on the wings anyways, with Martinelli being injured and then Trossard just coming back now. So because of that, it might end up turning into probably, I was thinking it'd be a win for Arsenal with Rodri missing for City as well. But now that Saka's probably a no-no for Sunday, I think it probably might be vice versa, because City do have the players that can easily still get them a win over Arsenal. So they're 2 big misses, but I think Saka's the bigger miss in the sense of how he's the most important player Arsenal have. Because if he scores and if he assists anyway.
Dean?
Okay, then. All right. Well, look, he
gone?
Don't know. He might be back.
He
He might not. Anyway, look, he'll be back. He'll sort himself out. And Stoney.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big impact on both players. I wonder what team will be able to get through the game without the loss of 2 key players for themselves. So I think for Arsenal, what are Arsenal's options on that side? Now, the players that I'm going to mention have not played at the level or consistency of Saka, all right? But it's all about a squad game. So let's see whether it's going to be Trossard or Reece Nelson are probably going to come in on that flank to try and cover Saka being unavailable. And for City, I think it's going to be interesting to see. Look, they bought Calvin Phillips. We all know what Calvin Phillips plays like, but let's be serious. He's been purchased in that player to actually play that screen position, all right? So Calvin Phillips is probably going to play in that position to Rodri. The only other option really in there is who? Kovacevic doesn't really play in that same CDM role. And did Nunes play like that for Wolves? I'm not too sure. Was he more? So it's probably either going to be Nunes, who's probably still adapting to how City are playing, or Calvin Phillips. And I just think that they're going to opt to go for Calvin Phillips as well. But as I said, you both got 2 very good tacticians. We'll see who will be able to make the adjustments and see who will be able to come out successful. But I think Arsenal, Saka being unavailable will have a bigger impact on Arsenal than Rodri being unavailable for City and how City manage going into that game.
Although just before Jeff talks, City have lost the 2 games that Rodri hasn't played in.
Yeah, I know, but look, the thing with City, right? City concede anyway, so whether Rodri's involved or whether he's off, they're still going to concede. I think the game's going to be a draw, personally, but they're still going to concede. So it's by the by. Just let them chomp it off. Who do I want to win personally? Keep it a draw. City will remain on 19 points. Arsenal remain on 18. Liverpool pip it, and then we go top afterwards. So it's by the by, man.
Anthony, right on cue, Mr. Herbert. Right on cue.
Yeah.
We were.
I was on a stream. I was on a stream before, and it went longer than what I bloody expected.
We heard you had your ass hanging out on another channel. That's fine, bro. It's no problem, man. It's no problem. But your timing is bang on. We're talking about Saka at the moment and what sort of a miss he would be for Arsenal. Do we feel that Arteta is playing your players too much, or playing, he obviously said that players should be able to play 3 times a week? And do you feel that Saka being missing, if he is a bigger miss than Rodri being missing?
Saka is being played too much. We're worried that he's going to be burnt out during the season. The problem is we got nobody to replace Saka in that position. We got to rely on the aspects of Reece Nelson, or sometimes Fabio Vieira. Sometimes he could play out wide as well. What we want a player in, so we can rotate with Saka. If he's out injured, another player to step up and try their best, sort of thing. Better than obviously what we've already got. The problem is it's like what I said. We got no backup players. Our 2 best players, so I've read on the Arsenal website, are not playing against Man City. Both Martinelli and Saka are out injured. The problem, so that's going to be a problem. So it most probably be the feature of Trossard out on the left, and like I said, Reece Nelson out on the right. So that's what it's going to be. Obviously with Jesus and up front and Odegaard just in behind him, sort of thing. So it is going to be a problem. I think that pile of rubbish by the name of Havertz, I think he's going to be playing. He's going to be in the squad somewhere. It's just a bit dire all round. I did a stream last night with little Charlie, the Man City fan, and obviously they've got Kevin De Bruyne out injured. Rodrigo, he's out. He's suspended, red card, but it doesn't matter because they've got class with class. They're replacing class with class players. We haven't got that. So the only advantage we've got is we're home at the Emirates, and that's it. If we can do something there, I feel we'd be lucky to come out of that game with a draw. To be honest with you.
And I think one of those things that you were saying as well, Anthony, I think Arteta probably has to be a little bit mindful. I never wish for any player to get injured, right? I'm just saying that. I'm just making it very, very, very clear, right? Don't wish for any player to get injured, but I think Arteta has to look at the history of overplaying players and also what happened to Jack Wilshere. Even though I know Jack Wilshere sustained a lot of injuries and he played in a different position, remember he was just playing game after game after game after game after game until his body basically couldn't cope anymore. So I think Arteta has to be mindful of Saka is very good, but he also needs rest. And the other concern as well, not only has Saka played enough every single game for Arsenal, but then when it becomes the international duty, which is coming up soon, he's also playing for the international team. So I think somebody has to start looking out for his well-being in terms of his fitness, and he's still a very young player. They have to be careful of that. Yeah,
you're right, Stimmy. They got to be careful of that. I just get worried. It's like what you said when he's featuring for Arsenal. He's one of the players that puts in, to me, 110% Saka. despite obviously his age, he's young, he can do that. And it's like what you reflected on as well, is England and his international duties as well. You know, obviously, it's very rare Saka's dropped from the England team. You know, we all know that. And this is one player that England and both Arsenal rely on. So if you're relying on that one particular player that plays in that certain position, and obviously with the skills and everything that he's got involved in that player, it's really a lot on him. You know, it's a lot on his mind. There's a lot on his shoulders. Everybody's worried, like Arsenal fans, whether he's going to get injured, whether he's going to be playing for Arsenal or England. So you know, this is the way how football is. You touched on Arteta. He's got to start believing in his team. He can't keep relying on Saka all the time. Us Arsenal fans, we hear it on streams, and also I think if I'm correct, it's actually been said in Arteta's press conferences as well. So you know, and he just fobs it off as saying, "Well, he's such a good player, he needs to play." We know that, but you can't keep relying on that player all the time. You know,
So,
I mean,
so Anthony, what do you think your best defense is going to be as far as toughest midfield? If they take a blueprint from Wolves, Wolves actually owned and really muscled through the midfield in the last match with Rodrigo being out, and Jesus has generally done well against City when he's healthy. He's played in a lot of games hurt and didn't look good, but when he's been healthy, he's kind of terrorized them. So how do you think you can kind of toughen up your midfield? What do you think your best midfield is going to be to counter that? Because again, they seem to have a hole there with Rodrigo gone, and they got muscled off the ball a lot.
Yeah, they do. I think with what you're saying, Jeff, the key in that Arsenal team at the minute is the spine of that team. Obviously, you've got our centre backs, Saliba and Gabriel.
Right.
In the midfield, obviously you've got Rice. There is rumours that Partey might be coming back in. Apparently he's fit, so we might see Partey play this Sunday. So with him and Odegaard, and like yourself, with obviously with Jesus up front as well. So we don't know whether it's going to be a 4-3-3 or whether it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. Personally, I'd rather play a 4-2-3-1. I know we play it in with Odegaard, but just for once, I'd like to see what Rice and Partey can do with just them two, just in front of that defence in that DM position. See if how balanced and well flexed they can play off of one another. You know.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. With Odegaard at the 10, Jesus at the striker, and then you could put Havertz on the left. You could put Trossard. And again, if they didn't want to throw Nelson into the fire that fast, I think they've got some options because some guys can float and change. Those guys can. And the other thing that seems to get City too is when they get a team that the outside runners can change sides, that they've had trouble dealing with that as well. And you got to hope that Haaland continues his cold boots.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I hope he does because I've always speaking, nobody predicted that last week against Wolves. And I think the best player on that pitch for Wolves was actually was Neto. You know, he was absolutely he dominated that flank, down that flank, obviously cutting in. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he definitely assisted one of the goals. But you know, he was absolutely phenomenal in that game, and also the defense was tight as well. So it wasn't just marking Haaland in the game; it was more marking out Alvarez as well. So you know they really did well, tightening up that position and really tightening it into Haaland. You know, getting really next to him, and obviously Havertz as well. So not Havertz, Alvarez as well. So you know it's going to be good. Good. I'm expecting a good game. Obviously, we're at the Emirates, as I said, we're at home. So I mean, Saliba and Gabriel, they've got to be on their A game at the minute. So I think.
Do you think they're going to attack, or do you think they're going to try to pack it in and counter more?
I think they're going to try and you're going to see a different Man City from last week. I mean, even the top teams like Man City,
Sure.
they need to lose a game, which they did last week, to obviously create more in their next game. We all know that Arsenal's been there, Man United's been there. We have lost to like lower teams down in the Premier League over the years, but
Sure.
you know, I feel we need games like that sometimes. You know, obviously to change the system around a bit and get everybody playing differently, like you know, sort of thing. Because I think sometimes with Arsenal, I think we play predictable because Arteta for me, he's always got a plan A, but he's never got a plan B. And it's like what you said as well, Jeff, is getting those wide players, you know, rotate. I mean, your opposition is always going to be weaker on one side. So you try and flip your best player over to the other side so you know you can create more of a chance going obviously down that wing as well.
Absolutely.
But Arteta doesn't look at it that way. In all fairness,
Well,
you
we
know,
saw
it's
it the
just
other night when Rashford flipped over to the right. He was wide open every time, but yet he kept going back to the left.
yeah, yeah. And I know. And I mean, look at the scoreline there. I mean, I was actually surprised that you didn't win it, or either get something out of that game. To be honest with you, you know, it was such a good game. I can understand what they were doing. They were changing it a little bit, but it's like what you said with Rashford. He kept drifting back over because he knows his best position is out on the left instead of playing on the right, like you know. So,
But the guy they
yeah,
put against, but the man that Tete and those guys over on the left, the right side of their defense, were just eating him alive. But when he drifted over to Angelino's side, he left Angelino in the dust every
yeah,
time. He didn't
yeah, he did, yeah.
get a tackle in on him. So again,
No.
I think you're right. They're going to have to drift around, especially without Saka. I don't think they can attack directly at them the way they normally would.
No, they wouldn't know. And I just think, obviously, if Havertz plays this game, I hope he got his shooting boots on because I know it's impossible, but
He
this
scored
is
the
a
other
kind
day.
of. Yeah, I know he scored the other day. It was against Bournemouth. It was a penalty, but I mean, you never know. He could be the next Messiah. You never know.
Yeah, he could well be. I doubt it. But what you look, right? I've had you lot waffling on for long enough. The main reason why we're here is our score predictions. Obviously last week, it was me, DN, Jeff, Don P and Anthony on. I ended up on 9 points with Anthony. We didn't have a good week, Anthony.
No.
DN ended up on tell a lie. Don P ended up on 13 points, and DN ended up on 15 points. And Jeff, you won with 18. You actually got a couple of score predictions right, to be fair. You got the 3-0. No, tell a lie. You got the 2-1, Everton.
Luton over Everton.
Luton. Yeah,
y'all
Luton,
laughed.
Everton.
Y'all laughed at me when I told you that too.
Yes. You got the 1-1 Forest Brentford. And you got the 2-0 Chelsea Fulham. So you did really, really well. I'm trying to see who else got a correct score on here. Don P, he got West Ham 2-0 against Sheffield United. And nobody else got fours. Nobody else got both things right. There was a couple of wins, obviously, with the Luton Burnley win. And the predictable one, obviously, Arsenal. The Spurs Liverpool. Did anybody? Yeah, Don P was the only one. Don P and DN went with wins for last week. So this week, look, I've even got my paper.
Yes.
I've even got my paper ready. Right. So I'm gonna go. Look, we'll try and keep it in a nice, respectable order. So, Jeff, I'm always gonna start with you, and then we'll go Jeff, Stoney, Billy, DN, and Mr.
Anthony.
Herbert. Yeah. Right. So we have Luton Spurs. Guys in the chat, if you are on here still, 4-0, yeah? Okay. You are in the chat, guys. You are more than welcome to get your scores in. Billy. Yeah. Yeah. Score
What's that?
prediction, Billy. Space Cadet.
Sorry.
Do you know what team it is? Luton Spurs.
Yeah, I'm looking at their fixtures. I'm gonna go with a 3-0 Spurs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Billy. 3-0 Spurs. Son hat trick.
Obviously, he's in your fantasy league. Who did I miss? What did I
Anthony.
do that right?
Oh, did you go?
Yeah,
Did you
Anthony.
get Stoney after me?
I missed bloody Stoney out, didn't I? Sorry, Stoney.
It's fine. It's okay. I'll go after Anthony.
I'm going to go also, Mr. B. I'm going to go 3-0 as well.
What you got, Stoney?
Okay, so I'm split here. Are you asking me what I would like or what do I think? What I would like is a 2-0 victory to Luton.
Wouldn't we all?
Right. So I'm saying 1-1. 1-1.
Okay.
Mr. B, that's why I paused, by the way. You asked Jeff, and then you came straight because you asked.
Sorry.
I thought Stoney answered quick and I missed it, honestly.
I thought I just missed half the conversation.
Look, it's Friday and it's late. This is the first little kind of half dippy error that I've done well for 41 minutes.
You have.
I think I've done well. Yeah, I think I've done well. So sorry, I won't get it wrong next time. And I'm gonna go. Yeah, I don't want to go the same as Anthony and Billy.
Neither
In
I.
the end.
I said it first. I want to change now, but I got to stick with it.
Matthew. Hey, by the way, Matthew Bassett. We all want old school back at Old Trafford. By the way,
I thought I'd put it up there. I'm gonna go 3-1. Oh, I'm gonna regret that one. It's gonna be 3-0. I'm going 3-0. Oh, Burnley, Chelsea. We may as well start with you, Billy.
Now you want to switch it up. I'm going to go with a 2-0 again.
For Burnley.
To Chelsea. Come on.
Anthony.
You know what? I'm going to go on the fence with this one, Mr. B. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Stoney.
2-1 Burnley.
Oh,
dang it, Stoney.
Billy, remember we spoke before we came online, Billy. I told you about those results. 2-1 Burnley.
Dian.
1-0 Burnley.
what? Oh.
Billy, I was right about Chelsea losing to Aston Villa, so it's fine.
Jeff.
2-2.
I'm actually gonna go 3-1 Burnley. Right. Next, Everton, Bournemouth. We're gonna go Jeff.
I'm gonna go 1-1.
See, you said Everton were shit at home, and you know what? I went against you on my bloody ACCA, and when they lost, I thought, oh God's sake, I should have just listened to Jeff. So you've got a draw, yeah?
Yeah, I think they're gonna battle a lot, and they're both gonna get a goal.
Dian?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Bournemouth. I don't think Everton score at home this game. And I think they're too busy in the new ownership thing going on, so because of that.
Stoney?
Yeah, Bournemouth are going to be too strong for Everton. 2-1 to Bournemouth.
Anthony?
You know what? I was chatting to a Bournemouth fan last night, and he reckons they got problems there. So, you know what? I'm gonna go 2-1 Everton.
Billy?
I'm going to go with 1-0. I don't know who to give it to. Everton. I'll go with Everton. 1-0 Everton.
Oh, by the way, I want to congratulate Mr. B on his ACCA. He messaged me last night. He won 47p. So, well done.
All right.
Yeah.
Think what you would have got if you'd have took my 2-1 Luton.
Exactly. So I've got your scores down there, Jeff. I'll be on.
Don't do
I'll
that.
be
You're gonna blind us by once in a while.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Everton. I just think that they're not gonna lose again. I don't know why I've got that in my head, but yeah, we're gonna go 3-1. Fulham Sheffield. I'll go first now. I'm gonna say that's gonna be a 2-0 Fulham. Jeff.
I've got 2-0. Actually, Sheffield. Yeah, this is the match he gets sacked. I'll go 2-0.
Really?
Well, we're coming up to international break. If he loses again, he's gone.
Somebody's gonna be done during the international break. Sorry, Billy.
I want to.
Billy didn't think so much for the Chelsea game.
Come on.
Come back to me.
Oh, it's easy to pick, Bill. It ain't Chelsea, is it?
Fulham, Sheffield. Come on, bud.
No. Come back.
Come on. No. Come on.
Yes, Vincent. We have pennies.
1-0 Sheffield.
Okay.
They're just not copper anymore.
Anthony.
I'm going for a Fulham win on this one, Mr. B. I'm gonna go 3-1.
Stoney.
Well, I'm going for a 3-0 victory to Fulham, and Jeff's in the building, so Reem is going to score a hat-trick.
Wow. Okay. I don't fancy him, but okay. I can't believe we're playing old men at center back.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Fulham.
2-1 Fulham. Oh God. Man United Brentford. I'm gonna go Billy.
2-0 Brentford.
I expected nothing less. Anthony?
Who's this one, Mr. B? Who's playing?
A Man United Brentford.
Man United and Brentford. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Stoney?
Before I was asked to give the prediction for Fulham Sheffield United, I think it was mentioned that a manager will have to go before the international break. So I'm going for a Brentford victory, and 7pence Hog will have his post removed from himself. So
Yeah,
2-0 to Brentford.
Yeah, I read that as well, Stoney. His job's on the line.
Tony, you got 2-0 Brentford as well?
It's all good.
Vincent's gone 9-0 Man United.
Oh God.
I love Vincent's positivity.
Vincent, don't do this to us, man. Don't do this to us. DN.
Do I go with my heart or do I go with my head?
Go with your head.
I'm gonna
Think
go with my
about
heart. 4-0 Man United.
See,
No, go with your heart.
It's a good job you just. It's a good job you didn't go with your heart, then, isn't it? Bloody hell!
No, my heart said a United win, but it'd be a scrappy win. With this, I go with a clear-out win, so it's fine.
Jeff.
I've gotten the score prediction right the last 3 matches on United, so this is going to be a tough one. But I don't think Mbomo and Wissa get the service they need. I think it's 2-1 United.
I'm going 1-1.
Really,
Now that being said, if we start Onana and Wissa and Mbomo get service, it could be ugly.
I have no faith in our defense, DN. I have no faith in our defense. We're We're playing 3 out of 5, 3 out of 4 of them. Sorry, one of them is our answer to our central midfield dilemma.
I think
And
he changes it tomorrow. I think I don't know why, but I think he goes Maguire in defense and he plays Lindelof as right back and Dalot as left back.
That sounds better.
I'd rather see 3 center backs than have Lindelof getting eaten up at right back.
Yeah, he got munched, and yeah, I can't. Lindelof has no strength, no nothing. He's done. He's done. I think he said he wanted to leave in the summer.
Does that mean that you agree with? Does that mean that you agree with my score prediction then, Mr. V?
Your score prediction was absolutely nonsense by the sound of things. 2-0, no. I said 1-1. You didn't hear me say anything about 0-2. So get stuffed. No, I'm going.
Did you like that video I sent you?
What video?
What was that? It was that boy, that Man United fan, that 9-year-old. He said, "What football teams you support?" He said, "Manchester United."
Yeah.
And he said, "What's your favourite player?" He said, "None of them. They're all shit."
That was back. Hey, that video is back from when Rooney was playing.
Exactly.
But it's still apropos.
Yeah.
They are. Some of them are still shit. To be fair. If Banana, oh God, UK Strains has got. If Banana plays, it's a loss. Right, we're gonna read the Crystal Palace.
Mr. B, I'll just say one thing before you go on to the prediction. For the Liverpool and Arsenal fans, they'll be crying when we'll be higher than them in March next year. So
I think he's right,
Mr. B. I'll be crying with laughter.
I know the only way that Manchester United will be higher than Liverpool and Arsenal come March or whenever is on Football Manager game edit. That's the only way.
Yeah.
It's if they're smoking.
Yeah, look, I said Matthew. Obviously, Vincent has come out with a 9-0. Matthew was saying that he needs some of what Vincent's smoking, and I think you were the one who supplied Vincent. There's no way that we're going to be above. I just can't see that. Just looking forward to Tuesday as it's my 43rd birthday.
Mr. B, if we get new owners, we absolutely could be in that fight. But as we are structured right now, no.
Let me tell you, it's not going to the Sheikh. What's his name has offered a blowjob to them, and they're going to take it. Yeah, that is
the first thing that either one of them's got. Those ugly dogs have got it for a long time.
You know what they're going to shout out across the stadium, don't you? Across the stands, wipe your chin, wipe your chin, wipe your chin.
He's pulled one. He's going to give them whatever he's going to give them, and they're still going to have full power. And then he thinks he's going to buy them out, and they'll probably end up buying out his money because they But look, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, look,
they'll steal his money.
It's ridiculous. Because
you know those two snakes aren't going to let him pay off their siblings without them getting some money.
Thank you. It's all nonsense, man. Oh God, look, Crystal Palace Forest. I'm gonna go. I want Forest to lose, man. I mean, I want Crystal Palace to lose. I'm gonna go 2-0 Forest.
I'm going man. Now all right, I gotta go 3-0 Forest because I was going 2-0 Forest. I think they're clicking now.
Yeah, Billy.
2-1 Forest.
Everybody's going for a Forest. This shows how bad United was. If everybody's going for a Forest win, shit. Anthony.
Same here as Billy. I'm going to go to Nottingham Forest. That goal they scored last weekend, that header, unbelievable.
Wow, Stoney.
I think it's going to be 1-1.
1 and Dian.
I'm gonna go same as Stoney 1-1.
Brighton Liverpool. You start with Anthony.
Brighton and Liverpool. I'm gonna go. You know what? I think they're gonna do it and really play well. I'm gonna go for a Liverpool win. 3-0.
Dian.
Is this at Anfield or is this
It's
That's
at
at
Brighton's ground. It's at the MX.
2-1 Brighton?
Billy?
I'm gonna go with a 3-1 Liverpool.
Jeff?
I think the Zerbi's mad about the goals they've been shipping. So I think that it's going to be 2-2.
I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool. Stoney?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 3-1. I'm going to go to the same prediction as Billy, 3-1 Liverpool. And I agree with Jeff as well. I think the way that Brighton came back from being 2-0 down against Marseille was a really good game, actually, if you guys have a chance to watch it. So, yeah, Brighton are going to have something to prove from their last game, and I think so with Liverpool. But I still think they're going to win 3-1.
If anybody wants to know about the Zerbi, Rio's channel, they got Prince Boateng on there talking about working with the Zerbi, and man,
Excellent.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, very, very, very good episode, Jeff. I watched it yesterday. Very good.
Between that and the Beck's documentary, I've not been getting any work done.
I heard my missus has had the Beck's documentary on, so I don't know.
It's really good, but that interview with Rio and Boateng's very good.
That's the one that I might tune into. West Ham Newcastle. We're gonna go with Billy.
3-1. No, I've already said 3-1.
You can say what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-1 Newcastle.
Anthony.
It's tough on this one. Do you know what, Mr. P? I'm going to go on the fence on this one. I'm going to go 2-2.
Stoney?
I was thinking that.
I think Anthony's has seen my post-it note. Yeah, 2-2. Right, I was definitely going to say 2-2 as well for this game.
Diet?
I'm going to go 1-1.
Jeff?
I think Newcastle's hot. I think Bowen's hot, scoring goals. I'll go 3-1 Newcastle.
I'm actually going to go 2-1 West Ham. I think they're going to be very, very confident after the European win. I'm going to go 2-1. I don't think Newcastle
had a pretty good win too.
Yeah, I know, but I just feel that this was more of a surprise, and they're on that high, and they've got to come down off that sugar rush soon. So I'm hoping it's against West Ham.
I think the West Ham win drained them out a lot against PSG, so that could be a cause for them playing.
Yeah,
could be.
So.
Let's see. Let's hope so. Wolves Villa. I'll go argue this one. I'm actually gonna go 3-1 Villa. Jeff?
2-0 Villa.
Billy?
Yeah, 2-0 Villa.
Anthony?
I'm going to go 3-2 Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins hat-trick. Put that down. Do I get an extra point for that?
What? No, do you just remember what we said, and then when you don't do it, then when it doesn't happen, we can call you a dick.
Okay.
Stoney?
I'll take it.
You know, I'm actually going for a 2-1 Wolves victory on this. I think Wolves usually perform quite good against Villa during this derby. So 2-1 victory to Wolves.
There's a lot of people agreeing. We've got a couple of twos in there. DN?
3-0 Villa.
And finally, Arsenal City. We'll start with you, DN.
Arsenal City. I'm going to go 2-2.
Tony?
1-1. I need a draw. I desperately need a draw in this game. So 1-1.
But when you guys lose against Brighton, it doesn't matter, does it?
1-1 is my pick.
Billy?
3-0 City. Sorry, just quickly. I reckon City are pissed off. And I feel like not only Guardiola, but the rest of their team are just like, yo, we need to turn up and smack them. And I feel like that's going to be their mentality. And I think Arsenal going into it are going to be like, shit, we just lost one of our best players. Martinelli and Saka. So this is going to be a long day. So, yeah, that's why I've gone with that.
Jeff?
2-1 Arsenal. They haven't won a game without Rodrigo in the middle. Why start now?
I'm actually going to go 2-2. Right, and with that, guys, we will now end the stream, so that we don't have to hear from Anthony. No, not really. Go on, come on, Anthony. Come, give me a prediction, my man. Come on.
Before I give my prediction, Stoney, could you get your hand and you just punch it down like that, and you can hit Billy on the top of the head for me before the faces, right?
Oh,
shame on you, Bill. 3-0.
If you struggle against Spurs, do you think you've got a chance against City?
Well, look at last week. Wolves dominated that.
That's last week. Like Mr. B said, we're talking about this week.
Sorry, where are you in the league?
Bring Chelsea into it all you like, mate. We're talking about City, Arsenal.
Oh, you ain't got the Chelsea top on, have you? You know,
Mate,
that's not a Chelsea.
Newest one, mate. I bought it after we smashed Fulham up.
Oh, is it? What's the sponsor on that one?
Huh?
Nothing.
It ain't the 3, is it?
No, we got nothing. But
Oh, well, exactly. You ain't got nothing. What is it?
It's a weak argument.
All I'm going to say is, Mr. B, I'm stuck. I've got 1-1 and 2-1 Arsenal. Do you know what? I'm going to just put me down for a 2-1 Arsenal win.
Right. Well, there's been a lot of a lot of varying score predictions today. To be fair, some have surprised me a bit, but I've learned just to accept the surprises, because it is what it is. So look, I know half of you, most of you will be back next week. Where can we find? Say that, look, right on the hours. Not too bad, not too bad. We got the timing kind of right. So Jeff, where can we find you, man?
Instagram right now is @MuddyFrogGigger, and then on X is Jeffy_TMUA, and then new Insta is going to be JVTMUA for the TMUA Instagram.
There you go. Stoney, where can we find you, man?
I'm not on any social media, but you can find me every Thursday at 10 p.m. on Cop Talk. So like, share, and subscribe.
Anthony, where can we find you, man?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. What's that called now?
X.
X. Right. Sorry, I was about to say Television X. I do apologise. Yeah, you can find me on that. But also you can find me on Football United TV. Obviously where I used to show Gunners from All Corners on Thursday nights, and also on Sunday we do the Premier League football weekend show. So, you know, and also on here on the Friday night takeaway. So make sure you like and subscribe to that. Mr. B, have you put up the Fantasy Football League?
Oh, I have, Anthony. We did that at we did that at the beginning of the show, the part that you missed.
Oh, sorry, Mr. B. Did you do the top 20?
Yes, we did do the top 20. Don't worry, you're not in it.
You're not.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. I'll get it up. As we finish, I'm going to put it up and show you. Don't worry.
Hey, I went from 78 to 95 this week. I'm headed in the wrong direction.
I'm lucky to be in the same position as Mr. B, so it's fine for me.
Oh,
don't worry about
Mr. B's like Chelsea.
Yeah, don't worry about that, mate. Don't be proud of being in the same position as me, Dion. I will tell you that straight. Dion, where can we find you, man?
X Instagram, same as Anthony said.
What? So it's the same. It's his
No,
it's
no,
his
no, no,
Twitter
no, of
handle,
course.
yeah?
No. So in X it's DN 1501, and then on Instagram it's the same name as Daniel, and it's Daniel Rahil 15.
There you
So,
go. See? So it's not.
Yep.
So it's not.
So
So it's
jersey
not
number
Anthony Herbert.
15 is-
So it's not. So it's not Anthony Herbert
It's not
69
Anthony,
at
no.
Television X, yeah? Billy.
No, it's just Television X. That's it.
Don't worry, Daniel. There's still time. There's still time. All right. Stop
Billy,
spoiling a man's dreams. All right.
Billy, where can we find you, man? No,
No,
you're on mute. You're on mute.
No, stay muted.
You can find me on Billy Talks Ball on TikTok, or you can find me here
TikTok.
every Friday at 10 o'clock.
All right. Cheers, Ben White.
Apart from when
we can tell who the youngest person here is.
No,
I think
Big
I'm younger than Billy probably.
No chance.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
Sounds like a chat line.
23.
I know it. You're chirping him.
I think you're 14 with the position that Chelsea are. So
Oh.
Hey, come at me. You're not saying give it a couple months. Don't
no,
worry.
tell me. But still, how old are you?
I'm 22.
I'm younger than you, mate. I'm 21.
What?
Are you?
Yeah. What else do you think?
You've had a hard fucking life, bro. Are you really 21?
I have. What do you think supporting United for the past 10 years has done to me?
That's why I got gray hair.
Jesus,
Stress has killed me.
I ain't got fucking none.
Yours all fell out from supporting United, didn't it, Mr.
Oh
B?
my God.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's nice
Jesus.
knowing you, Dan. If you're not on next week's show, you can find. I most probably know why, but it's good.
Oh Jesus! Look, guys. Look, as always, guys in the chat. Thanks for watching. It's Friday slate, and I know you don't. I know you don't have to. I know you don't have to be here. Billy, thank you as always. Stoney, I will see you tomorrow. We kick some Salvo's asses. Jeff, as always, thank you very much, man. DN, thank you, and Anthony, you whore. I'll definitely be seeing you next week, and on the channel, not in a whoring sense. So from me, Mr. B. Don't see that comment, boy. From me, Mr. B, and everyone on the agenda. Please enjoy your weekend and hit the notification bell for the next show. Cheers, we're out.
Y'all have a good week.